What is going on? You're listening to episode 292 of the Nintendo Powercast. I'm your host, N64 Josh. Player 2, Hate Zero. What's up, dude?
Hey, what is going on? And what is up, NPC fam? It is your boy, Hate Zero, your hero.
Player 3, Crawler. What is going on?
Hey, how's it going? It's Crawler coming at you.
That music you're hearing is from On Being Human. You can check them out on Spotify and YouTube. Remember, this is an unofficial Nintendo podcast. And if you'd like to get my book, you can go to n64josh.com/anothercastle. If you'd like to get it on Audible, it'll be free if you're a first-time Audible subscriber. n64josh.com/audible. The Satisfy Grip. Guys, I've been playing Fortnite mobile, and I cannot recommend this grip enough if you play handheld. You can go to n64josh.com/switch grip. Go check this thing out. I really, this thing has been a lifesaver for me. It has been a lifesaver because trying to play, and I'm talking long gaming sessions. Here's the thing. My wife, who loves Animal Crossing, now may love Fortnite just as much as Animal Crossing.
How did this happen?
I blame Belle of Disney. So
Is it because of the Marvel stuff right now, or is it just
No.
she's enjoying just everything?
here's the thing. I mean, when we dated, we played a lot of GoldenEye, a lot of Perfect Dark, a lot of Turok, and she's always loved her shooters. So Marvel doesn't hurt anything. I mean, she loves Iron Man, right? But yeah, she's got the bug. We've had a few nights where we played till like 2 a.m. And I played handheld the entire time. The Satisfy Grip saved my hands. So n64josh.com/switch grip. Here's the other thing I've done. I've put together my own Amazon store full of my Nintendo Switch recommendations. I'm always adding more to it. If you go to n64josh.com/Amazon, you will find everything I recommend for accessories, games, and everything in between. So you can go check that out as well. n64josh.com/Amazon. With that, we'll get over to the announcements.
Hey, listen!
Animal Crossing Podcast, new episode this week. Smash Bros. Tournament for November is going to be November 21st because the fourth Saturday is the day after Black Friday and all that craziness. So we're going to do it the third Saturday in November. n64josh.com/smash is where you'll be able to register when this goes out. New episode of the Smash Bros. Cast is coming out tonight. We got Mario Kart still happening on Mondays, but I think we might start dialing it back because I'm just not seeing as many people into it as there had been. So I may be doing like an hour of racing and then switching over to like Smash or Pokemon or something. We'll just have to see. But if you still want to get some races in, Mondays and Fridays, we will be doing them periodically, or maybe like I said, for just a shorter amount of time. This Friday though, I got plans. I won't be streaming Mario Kart this Friday, so tune in Monday for that. We got the Splatfest this weekend. I'm going Team Trick. If anybody wants to play on my team, I will be streaming it first thing Saturday, getting all the way up to King Trickster or whatever they're gonna call it. I don't even know. So Trick King.
Is that a 48-hour one?
I believe it is. I think it is a 48-hour one. So yeah,
they turn those results around pretty quick on those longer ones, which is interesting that they don't turn it around as quickly as they could on the shorter ones. But
yeah. So there you go. That's Twitch stuff. I gotta tell you guys, I'm really excited about this. I've been doing these no commentary, just Let's Plays where I play Smash, I play Mario Kart, I've been playing and we'll talk about the stuff we've been playing, but I put up some video of Minecraft Dungeons, and I've got the Hyrule Warriors demo going up. But here's the thing, my nephews and my nieces, they love watching this stuff because there's no commentary. Their parents don't mind them watching it because there's not some annoying YouTuber going, "Hey everybody, I'm here and I'm gonna show you how to play this." Like,
hit that bell.
Yeah, hit that bell. Like, there's no commentary whatsoever. But if you're a Smash player, go watch these videos and critique my gameplay. Like, and the last one I put up, the final match with an Enderman, I hit him with a double fair. Oh, it made me so happy. So happy. So go check those out. youtube.com/n64josh. And the other thing that I'm very, very excited for is I'm gonna start playing some Pokemon with the community. And I'm gonna be doing, I was talking to some people in the Discord today about Pokemon and Meltan in particular. Now, I have access to a lot of this Pokemon, so I'm going to be giving him away. I also want to play these adventure raids or whatever that just came out with the Crown Tundra with you guys, and I also want to learn how to battle in this game. But it's going to take a village because it's Boomer Central over here when it comes to Pokemon.
I've sent you the treat sheet too, and you still don't get it.
No, I understand the rock, paper, scissor aspect. What I want to know is, like, what are some of the items that you use that you give to your Pokemon so that they do different things? Or, like, how do you go about building a team? And do you know what your opponent has going in? And ultimately, I want this to lead to us being able to do Pokemon tournaments. I don't think I can spectate to be able to view them, but I think it would be fun together to come, be able to come together and do Pokemon tournaments, and or like a Pokemon League or something. I'm not really sure what it would look like, but yeah. The other thing is, if you listen to the Smash Bros cast, you'll hear me talk about it. But I want to start a Smash Bros League and basically put together teams that will help people improve at the game. So there will essentially be like team captains, and then they will, recruit, or if people sign up, we will assign them to different teams, and then we'll have different brackets like beginner, intermediate, advanced. And maybe we'll do league nights where we get together and everybody competes, and then it's within those leagues that I will then host the tournament, so that it's only people that are within the community that are competing in these tournaments. And I think it'll get a little more hype, it'll get people a little more excited, and it'll help people see and track their improvement. And that's really what the main goal of this is. So n64josh.com/discord is the place to go. I will have some posts up about this on my website as well, but I'm going to need help with this. So if you want to help me with Pokemon or help me with Smash, hit me up. I want to get the ball rolling on this, and yeah, and like I said, I'll be doing some Meltan giveaways here very soon, because he's kind of annoying. You've got to move him from Go into Let's Go, and then from Let's Go into Home, and then from Home into Sword, right? So it's obnoxious, but because I keep transferring him, I keep getting these boxes, and then I can capture a whole bunch more, and then anyway, so it just allows me to help people complete their Pokedex if need be. With that, let's hop on over and talk about what we've been playing. Eric, kick it off for us, my friend. What's been going on? What have you been playing?
Well, I was on vacation last week, didn't play a lot of games, but I did pick up the Ghostbusters remake was on sale for like $7 or something. So I picked that up and played a little bit of that, which I don't think it's still on sale, but if it is and you haven't played it, like it's like a proper Ghostbusters written by Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis, and it's acted by all of them, and yeah, it's good, entertaining. And then I today tried a couple demos that I think we'll get into later, so I don't want to go too far into that, and that's kind of been the gist of it for me.
We can get into it now. That's fine. We can break those down now.
Are you sure?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so first I started with Age of Calamity, and the last time I talked, I said, I just don't know. They're sucking me in with the Zelda lore, but I just was reluctant. Well, after playing the demo, I'm glad they had a demo because they saved me $60.
Oh,
had you played the first one,
Hyrule Warriors?
Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't. But I'm not a fan, like we talked about, I'm not a fan of the genre, right? Like I just don't enjoy it. and this one, you know, you immediately are attacking hundreds of enemies, and the enemies attack you in pretty rudimentary ways, and you just kind of button mash, and you can do basic combos, and it's just, I don't know, if it feels repetitive in a quick demo, I fear what like a 60-hour game, or how long are these games supposed to be?
They have a few missions, but like there's more characters that you get to play as well, even in the first
want
one.
to though. Why would you want to play as more characters?
They have different abilities and different stuff.
So press A button, X button, and
it is a Muso game.
Seriously, like, I'm not trying to be mean to people who like the series. Like, try to sell me on it. Like, they have a light attack, a heavy attack. They've got some sort of range.
Yeah, I mean, I burned out on the first one. It is a bunch of go here, beat up these guys, go here. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is.
So it looked cool. You know, and it immediately starts off with the lore, and I'm like, man, that part of it's interesting. So what I'll probably do is watch, you know, Josh's epic playthrough that he's gonna put together for me.
You know what I'll do?
I want it on YouTube.
I will put together all of the cutscenes for a YouTube video, so that you can just watch the cutscenes.
So I want to talk about the lore a little bit, because I didn't notice this when I first started playing, but when it went to a loading screen, I saw a picture, and something triggered in my head that I trust that a lot of people looked at this lore and made sure it was good.
Yeah.
What hand does Link use in game normally?
He's normally.
What game are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
Because on the Wii,
predominant amount of the series.
Yeah.
On the Wii, it was only different because he's left-handed. And I just checked my cover of Hyrule Warriors. He's left-handed on the cover there. He's right-handed in this game, and he's right-handed in the art. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, here's another question for you, okay? How about this? How about this?
I'm out.
Here's a good one. How is it that Link can kill hundreds of enemies at a time, but when Breath of the Wild hits, he's getting killed by like one or two basic enemies? Like,
because he's still waking up after 100 years.
Oh, come on. He's not waking up at the end of the game. Like, he's killing hundreds. Like, I saw like it talk about 200 KOs and just ridiculous. Like, come on.
It's a Muso game. Yeah, I know.
This game takes place in a new timeline. Becker Plays Games says.
Worse timeline, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem like it might be kind of an alternate timeline, because the little guardian thing goes back in time. But...
Hey, you know, if you're into this style of game, I'm not trying to say you're a bad person or you have bad taste. I'm just saying I don't like it. And I get the draw for people, because it makes you feel like a superhero, right? Like you're invincible almost. I don't know. You know, I want the kind of risk reward there, and it's not really, doesn't appear to be there. So, Josh, did you play it?
I did. I played about a half hour. I'll have the first half playthrough. I don't know how long the thing is, but I made it to like past the first like cutscene where you get introduced to Link, where you get to start doing some cooking, that kind of stuff. That's how far I made it. I'm not a huge fan of this genre. The last time I beat one of these games was to get 1,000 points on the 360, and that was it. Like, and as soon as I was done, I was like, "Get this thing away from me. This is not really for me." Now, that being said, Hyrule Warriors, I enjoyed. I played a little bit on the Wii U, I played a little bit on the 3DS, and I played a little bit on the Switch. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. It didn't pull me in to make me want to finish it, you know, like a typical Zelda game would. This one is different because of the way it looks. The way it looks alone is a huge draw for me, is a big pull for me. So I will be picking this up. I am... Here's the other thing too. Like, if you guys have been listening to this show for any amount of time, I'm always going to try to look for the more of the positive, or I'm going to look for ways to make something more, to get the most out of it. Right.
Yeah.
And
you're a glasses half full kind of guy for sure.
I wasn't for the longest time. Like, but this game has me curious. I'm like, I liked the dodge mechanic and being able to, it's essentially, it works almost like a parry, similar to like Batman or like the Arkham Asylum games or some of the Shadow of War, that kind of stuff. And so once I learned that, I was like, oh, that's kind of like, there were little things that kept happening that I kept liking more and more. It is a game that can be just chaos and just button mashed and can be like, okay, you know, I don't know how long of play sessions I'll be able to do before I'm like, okay, time for the next, you know, time for the next one. But I mean, I'm coming off of a game that I was just playing a lot of Minecraft Dungeons. Like, it's very similar as far as you just run through and just mash the A button and a few other trigger. Like, it's a very similar style of game, yet you're not necessarily playing it for the action. You're playing it for the story, or you're playing it for the loot in Minecraft Dungeons.
You're playing it for the loot, yeah.
You're definitely playing it for the loot. And if Age of Calamity has the looting aspect of it, maybe that would be enough to hook me into playing it.
And it does seem like there's end rewards, at least on the one mission I did finish. I mean, so I think you're going to get to upgrade some stuff.
Well, you'll definitely be able to upgrade your weapons, because if you looked in the menu, like, it tells you. And another question is, how come your sword doesn't break as frequently as it does in Breath of the Wild? But we won't get into that. But yeah, I mean, so maybe maybe being able to level up and loot, and maybe that's enough to keep me engaged, because the combat does feel very repetitive. And I don't know that it's going to get better.
It didn't have, I was hoping that there was going to be, like, through the sound design and stuff, that it would feel a little meatier, like when you were hitting stuff, you know, like there would be just a little more. And that's, I think, one of my biggest complaints with the Muso games is it's like you're always fighting against, like, paper. You're just fighting against these non.
The bosses don't feel like paper, though, a little bit. Like, you do have the shield break a mechanic on them.
Mm-hmm.
They attack, and I haven't quite gotten the timing down yet in this game, just because I played just a little bit before we recorded here. But if you can active dodge, like, you get the whole frozen quick slash option, like you had. So there's a lot of Breath of the Wild mechanics that they've taken and put into this, and there's stasis, and there's bombs, and there's all sorts of stuff that are built into the Sheikah Slate stuff that you have, and it definitely feels like it's meatier than the first game. And they built upon those systems and took what was unique and fun about Breath of the Wild and found a way to put it into a Muso game that honestly was very repetitive. And I think some of the stuff that they've implemented will make it a little more interesting.
Becker's killing me.
Becker in chat says, just waiting for Paper Mario Warriors. Okay, here's a few other things. I've always enjoyed. I mean, I'm a child of the '80s, so anything that's arcaded or like has arcade feel to it, I'm drawn to. This is a very arcade Zelda game, right? I mean, it's got that arcade feel to it. One of the things, the moment that really hit me, that made me go, I'm in.
I know.
Tell me.
When you got to fly the divine beast and start blasting stuff away, right?
I haven't even done that yet, so that's
well, no, yeah. I mean, that just what I just saw in the trailer. That's what sold it, like, truly for me in the trailer today, was like getting to see, like, you get to take control of these divine beasts, and you get to take the camel and ram it into a barrier, like a castle gate. And you get to take Rivali's bird and you get to go blast stuff on a hillside, and it just, it looks fun.
That sounds amazing. Like, I can't wait for that. But the thing that got me today was finding the Korok. The way the sound design was identical
Did you
to
see
Breath
what?
of the
Did you
Wild.
see Did you see the message in there too? It's like it smells kind of weird.
That's so funny.
It has a smell.
Yeah. So that, I mean, as soon as I heard that, I was like, oh man, I want to play Breath of the Wild again. Like,
yeah, sure.
It made me want to jump back into that
Just
game
looking
too.
at it makes me want to play Breath of the Wild again. So
yeah,
it's the perfect jumping point into Breath of the Wild 2, you know, when that comes out, but
which is hopefully sooner rather than later.
I think it's gonna be a big year for Zelda next year. I think we're just scratching the surface. I think there's going to be I think they're gonna do a better job with Zelda for the 35th anniversary than they did with Mario. Honestly, that's my guess. Just because of the way the state of the world should hopefully be a little more normal by then. So, but you know, we'll wait and see. But overall, like I did enjoy my time with it. Like it is very much, you know, a Warriors game. You're going from outpost to outpost, just trying to wipe stuff out. But I actually felt like I had a little better handle on it this time than before, where it was like, where am I supposed to go now, and what am I supposed to go do? Like,
and like at least in the first game, the later missions, you have more time constraints, and you have to switch more actively between fighters because you have to get all the way across the map or do stuff kind of simultaneously. So I think there will be some added challenge later on.
Yeah, more absolutely. And I will say, looking back on Hyrule Warriors, the first one, like when you do some of those classic boss battles that take place on the field, they were pretty rewarding and pretty cool. And the way they kind of mix mechanics with like the Musou game, but still try to stay true to some of the Zelda, the bosses and things like that. Like I appreciate the work that they're putting into it, you know. So
you get like a fire staff or some other stuff too that you can change up your weapons.
Exactly. When that happened today and I was burning all the grass and everything, I was like, this is not the Hyrule Warriors I remember. That was like pretty.
Well, and the shield surf dash, like that's pretty fun to take out enemies that way. So I mean, they put some pretty cool, unique details into the game.
I really think so, and that's what's kind of pulling me in, because again, the genre itself doesn't do all that much for me. It doesn't do all that much for me. But I mean, playing as Impa, I really enjoyed that. I thought she was fun to try to figure out, to where you were like duplicating and absorbing things, and then there was.
Yeah, they didn't really describe it that well, and it was in the heat of battle. So yeah, I'm interested to go back and learn about that as well.
Yeah, but her moves, it was ultimately cool to watch, and I think that's part of the draw of the genre, is that they want you just to feel like you are unstoppable, and then your character's doing these over the top moves, and that's what kind of pulls you in, you know. So I don't know. Overall, I thought it was good. I'm pleased with it. I'm happy with it. But next on the list, Eric, what else are we playing?
So a demo for Control on the Switch got a shadow drop today. It was quite the remarkable thing, really, because we had no idea Control was coming to the Switch. We had no idea cloud gaming was coming to the US, and it's available right now today. So you can download Control for free. And play it to kind of test your internet, make sure you can get some good gameplay out of it, and then you can switch to the purchase. And I believe someone said it was.
You get 5 minutes.
Oh, is it only 5 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I thought maybe you had to hit a certain milestone or something. I wasn't sure, but
I died and then it stopped me, but I think it had been about 5 minutes.
So I got to the point where it says you can't play anymore, but I was in the middle of jumping or pressing B. And it glitched, so I couldn't tell. I didn't know what it was saying. It didn't say anything. It was just 3 empty boxes, and I was like, "Well, I'll hit A and see what happens." And then it took me to the eShop.
So, first I'll start with the good. I played handheld. I played docked. I played close to my router, and I played as far away from my router as possible. All wireless. I had no problems. The game played surprisingly well. Handheld kind of sucks because the sticks are so small and it's very twitchy to control the camera.
How long did
but-
it take you to get in?
I did it later, so it was immediate. There was no queue when I joined.
Okay.
I didn't do it this morning.
Because I did it a little bit this morning, and I stopped it because I was like 1,000 deep. It was like 900 and something. And I worked all day today at home, and then I tried it a little bit after I got done with work around 5 o'clock my time, which would have been, I guess, 7 in the east.
Yeah.
And I was like 110,
Hmm.
and it went fairly quickly, but that poses a problem, I guess, just in general with the fact that
and we'll get to all the problems I have. Or we may have. So first I'm gonna go with the good. I tried graphical mode. I tried performance mode. I didn't notice a huge jump in performance, but I did notice a graphical hit in performance. So,
performance will excel later on in the game because you've played it on your Xbox, right? So like later on when you're blowing all sorts of
Lots
stuff
of
up and
enemies,
there's more enemies on screen, and
I wish I would have been able to see more of that. Like I wish it would have threw you in a more intensive portion of the game.
the very beginning you don't get a good judge on performance mode.
I can tell you, you can tell in performance and graphical mode, you can tell that like the shadows take a huge hit in performance mode, and you can also tell that the shadows are kind of slow to render sometimes in graphical mode. But overall, the game looked incredibly playable and it looked solid.
Did your audio feel delayed on the trigger pull at all?
Not that I noticed.
Because it felt delayed to me, but I don't know if that was just, I don't know.
I was trying to be picky. I felt like my controls might be slightly delayed, but then I was like, maybe I'm just being too critical. So it all felt very playable. So I can't complain too much. But here comes the part that I'm worried about. So with Game Pass and xCloud, you're paying for a Netflix-like service and access to these games, knowing that your access to these games are potentially temporary and not yours, right? But it's like Netflix, movies come and go. You play them, watch them, whatever as they come.
And they give you a good heads up too with what's leaving Game Pass and all that kind of stuff. So if something you had in your eye on or you've downloaded and it's leaving, they give you 2-3 weeks. That's usually enough time to play through a game. Quick. Yep.
Yeah. So that doesn't bother me. The price is also set up to kind of reflect a service like that, right? $40 for Control is what I believe someone said the price was.
That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
If this game sells really poorly, who's to say that Remedy's going to keep these servers up in 6 months? We have no contract with them that says they have to.
And I don't even know if it's Remedy that's doing it. I think they have a third party that's running it.
I'm sure they do, but they're ultimately the ones that are probably paying for these servers to be up, right? So when this is no longer profitable to them, who's to say they're going to keep these servers up? And since now you're throwing $40 at it, and I know people make the argument that buying digital games mean you only get the license, you never actually own the game. I'm not one of those people. I love digital games. But at least when you download them, you have it indefinitely, right? With this, you are 100% reliant on that server staying up to play any portion of that game. I'm not even going to be mad about the fact, what if your internet goes down, anything like that? That's kind of the nature of the beast. I get that. That's part of xCloud too. It is what it is. But my concern is if Remedy just says, you know what, we tried it, doesn't work for us, you're out $40 and there's nothing you can do about it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's and then they announced Hitman today too, assuming that's going to be a $60 game because it's going to be brand new, right?
Should be somewhere in the ballpark, I guess, of 40 to say. It's, I think, episodic, but it's probably going to be the complete thing. So yeah,
same as Control.
Yeah. So now you're looking at, I mean, these are full game prices for something that you're getting on xCloud as a subscription service.
borrowed time, pretty much.
Yeah. And so that's where I'm just kind of a little concerned. As a test for the technology, I think this is great. This proves that xCloud could work on the Switch, which we already knew it could, but this further cements that. So Microsoft, Nintendo, work out your deal. That'd be perfect because then I don't even need to buy a Series X. I'll just play it on my Switch. So yeah, figure that out, Microsoft, Nintendo.
Well, and maybe it's not Microsoft. Maybe Nintendo needs to figure it out, and they need to offer a service like this that allows these other companies to get their games into the mix, just like Microsoft does. Don't get me wrong. I think Game Pass on Switch would be amazing, right? Yeah. It would be amazing,
and it only would stand to benefit both.
I think especially right now with the dilemma Microsoft's in with Apple, if they could work something out with Switch that's 60 million users, that it's not as big as Apple, but it helps out. Josh, I think, are all three of us on iPhone right now, so it helps out all three of us. Like we're left out in the cold on mobile xCloud right now, so that would give us an avenue to play it. So I mean, I'm on board with that, just as another way. As long as you're connected to the internet and it's somewhat reliable, hopefully it should work. I mean, you said you were running on Wi-Fi, so that's promising. I was running it hardlined.
I mean, to be fair, I pay for gig internet. I've got more than the average person's internet, but I really don't think, I don't know the specs, but it's, probably 720p. You can do that with pretty basic connection.
I'm sure Digital Foundry will break it down here in the next day or two.
Yeah.
I mean, I see this as, I think I posted this in Discord earlier today. It's like, I see this as and we've talked about this, I think, when Japan got some certain things.
Resident Evil and Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, like it's a good thing for people that have the one system.
Yeah.
But this is something that is, in essence, it's limited to you playing your Switch while you are at your house. Probably better when it's docked. So you might as well play it on PC or Xbox or PlayStation, because you have to be at home anyway with a reliable internet connection, and then you actually own the game too. But it's a good avenue for people that don't have those other options to have something to play. So I see it as a positive in the long run, but the negatives, I think, outweigh it, with the whole fact that it's on a service that can be volatile and can go away in a blink of an eye if it doesn't sell well or it's not profitable or whatever. So it's great that we can see stuff coming to Switch that is not possible with the specific hardware built in, or even the memory space that would be available. And it played pretty well. Like the app, whatever, downloads super quick, and then minus the queue to get into the server that I had, it doesn't really take much time. I was skipping cutscenes too, because I wasn't sure if that was counting against my 5 minutes. So I played the game at the beginning, so I kind of know what I'm doing. So I was skipping stuff, but it didn't really have much render after that. So I mean, it was pretty good.
Yeah, and that's kind of my fear is just like we've talked about. If Nintendo set this up as a platform, like I think Josh was kind of talking about, if they offered it, I would feel a lot more comfortable with it. But being up to the individual developers or publishers or whoever's actually hosting these, it's a little concerning, because any one of them, like I don't even know if Resident Evil and Assassin's Creed are still up over in Japan. I have no idea. We'd have to research that. Maybe we should. But if Nintendo said, we've got this online platform, we're hosting these servers, they're on our stuff, then I would feel a little more comfortable that they might be around to stay at least for a year.
I'm trying to look up, like, do we know? I'm trying to remember when I looked at the when I looked at the eShop. I just went back to it again, but you can only access the eShop through the game, and I'm in the middle of Hyrule Warriors, so I didn't want to stop it.
Yeah, so like the game, because I even went when I was trying to find the price earlier today. I went onto the website version of the eShop on Nintendo, and it was like, oh, free, and you already own it. You already own this. Like the only thing that's in the regular eShop that you can see is this free app to get into that service.
Because I don't think you're actually paying Nintendo. I think you're paying wherever the heck this goes.
They're using Nintendo as PayPal pretty much, though.
Right.
Because
But yeah, it's yeah. So I mean, as a test of change, it definitely proves the capability works. Josh, did you get a chance to mess with it? You said you did a little bit, right?
Yeah, it's I have the video up on YouTube. I got it up today. I played the enhanced graphical version or whatever, right? Yeah. I was hardwired. I mentioned that in the description of the video. And I mean, I thought it was great. I was like, I had no delay. The everything seemed to run very, very smooth, and I thought it was cool. But see, I'll be honest, going into this, I'm thinking about the way they said the pricing structure was for Resident Evil, and if you didn't continue to pay for it, you lost your save, and it all went away. And so that's what I assumed this was also. If you spend the $40, is the game there until they take the servers down?
It's yours, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming your file. I think probably they heard the outcry that was about that, like that if you just choose not to pay for it, your save goes away. But this is also that was Capcom, I guess, and this is Remedy or whoever's whoever's paying for it.
Well, don't give Remedy any credit these days, so we won't get into that though.
I mean, we had a heated discussion. Well, not heated, just
terrible
complaint fest about the next gen upgrades that come.
I'm frustrated because I was one of the early adopters of Control. Like I bought it day one, and I would love to upgrade it and play it in next gen, but I'm not going to rebuy it to do so.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I mean, and I think with how this is titled, it is Control Ultimate, I think, so it should have all the DLC in it.
Yeah.
So you're getting a decent package for what you're paying for $40. But the main question I think that we've all raised is, it's yours for how long? Because we don't know how long this service will actually last.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It really is interesting, because on one hand, let's say Doom came out this way, you're going to get a better version of the game. If this is where you want to play Doom, you're going to get
better if you're at home with good internet.
Right. So you're going to lose the ability to play, handheld on the go.
Sure.
But that's not going to be every game. It's only going to be some of them.
And I don't know how well the hardware would run multiplayer streamed as well.
It's another question. It is. But I mean,
Stadia. I think we're. Yeah. Well,
I mean, obviously, we're talking about a company that's focusing on cloud gaming and making that work. But
this whole thing just kind of cracks me up, though, because it's just typical Nintendo being so out of touch with how this is old man yells at clouds. This is Nintendo. Like Amazon has Luna, or what are they calling it? Their new cloud gaming service.
Yeah.
Microsoft has it. Stadia, like all of.
But those three companies have very well established themselves with the Amazon Azure cloud or whatever it is. The Microsoft
AWS. Microsoft's
Microsoft's Azure, and then just Google has server farms everywhere. So
yeah, there's no denying that part of it. It's just funny though, because all of those are subscription based. You pay a monthly price, and you get access to these, and then Nintendo comes in and says, we're going to do it just different, just probably in the worst way possible.
So
I mean, it's kind of on par with Stadia a little bit, because Stadia you're paying for something, but you have to buy the games separate too.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Well, some of them, right? Some of them are included. Some of them are premium or something like that.
Becker would have to clear it up, I guess, a little bit. But I think there's maybe a few add-in bonuses stuff for being a subscriber. But for the most part, I think even if I own the game on my PC, I have to buy it again in Stadia if I want to play it. So that's the problem with Stadia that I think has tanked them out of the gate versus what xCloud is promising to be as soon as it gets on more services and you can play it in your, like, if I can play xCloud in my browser and I don't have to boot up stuff and I can play it on a computer somewhere else, like that's going to be, because you can do that with Stadia, but like as soon as Microsoft gets on board with everything.
Well, you can do that with Amazon service that they're betaing right now too. You can play it on somehow Amazon worked out a deal with iPhone, by the way, so theirs is going to be on iPhone.
Here's what's interesting. Let's look at Bioshock Collection. All right. If I want to play Bioshock Collection on the go, I have to have the cart, yet only one of those games is on the cart. The other two games do not show up, even though they are downloaded on my Switch, unless I put the cart in.
Yeah. Oh, because they're all tied behind the...
Oh, they don't pop up unless the cart's in there?
Yeah, this is the first time this has happened.
Because Mega Man Collection, the second game, like that's a separate download. You get an eShop download code.
Correct.
Same with Resident Evil Revelations 2.
Correct.
Bayonetta 2.
And all the collections of Resident Evil. Yeah. The one game is on the cart, but with Bioshock...
is that the same with Borderlands 1 and 2?
I believe that is the case with that collection also, I believe.
So that's it. So is that that must be a 2K thing then?
It could be, but I mean, if I lose that cart, I can't access those two other games even though they're on my system, right?
What does it look like if you go? I wonder what it looks like if you go. Can you buy those games separately on the eShop?
You can.
Or is it only the collection?
You can't. You know what? So before I say that I can't access them, I can't check it right now. I will double check and see if that is the case.
Because I wonder if you go to the eShop if it's there and you can.
So here's a question. Here's a question for you. When you launch the cart, are you launching the Borderlands or not? Are you launching the Bioshock Collection and then you select one of the three games?
No. When I put the cart in,
all three show up.
All three show up as playable.
The cart functions as the launcher.
Yes.
That's silly.
Yeah. So
what they did is they shoehorned the Switch OS to function as their launcher, so they didn't have to develop that.
I think that was a design to kill GameStop.
Could be.
Right? Like it has to be, right? Because that kills the resale value. Like, well, maybe I guess it does. Yeah, because did you get a download code to download the other two games, or how did you download them?
I believe that when you put it in, you click it and then it you click the
initiates it.
Oh,
so then that helps GameStop in the long run.
That doesn't hurt them. I figured it'd be a code, and
because Mega Man and Resident Evil and all those things, they're dead in the water
or whatever it was.
They're dead in the water.
I think though, I'm opening the case right now. My point is if they sold the physical copy of Control, but you needed the Wi-Fi, no, there's no code in here. You just pop the card in and that's what downloads it. So yeah, and unless I toss the code, but I don't typically do that. So would that because I mean, would that be better for some people in some people's mind if at least you're getting the tangible item to put on your shelf? Or
no.
Yeah, for me it wouldn't. I mean,
not if it goes away.
Yeah, if it's still tied to the servers being up, that's the main concern. Like, would you pay? This is a bad example because Disney just did it with Mulan, but
I didn't buy that. There was no way I
didn't buy it either.
Well, so that's a prime example then, right? So you guys refused to buy that, so you should refuse to buy Control as well.
Well, but I know
Mulan's
going to be free
coming later. Yeah, I know it's coming later.
Right? Okay, so let's say Netflix said the new season of Stranger Things
you have to pay for it. It's not on our service. We still
Ever?
made it and everything. Yeah, you just gotta pay for it.
It's going to be extra. I mean,
and you don't own it. You just can stream it. You can't download it.
At least at that point. Well, I mean,
see, these are bad examples.
Because Stranger Things has come out in physical form at Target, and
I bought it in physical form.
You try to see what I'm going for here.
I bought Stranger Things in physical form at Target just because it was in a cool VHS.
Right.
That was cool.
Yeah, exactly.
So here's the part that makes it so tough is I could buy the game on Xbox, right, and own it and not have to worry about them hosting it forever. Right now I'm paying $40 to rent it for an unknown amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
Presumably it's going to be enough time, but this
example is on a game all three of us already own too. So it's something we have in a higher fidelity that runs smoother, that we don't have to stream. Yeah, and we own it, so it's like.
But Hitman 3 I don't own.
Correct.
And so that could be like, okay, maybe I'll do it with Hitman 3. I still just the model for it just scares me.
I think what needs to happen in order to make this more appealing is that this needs to be tied to an account similar to Steam, where if I purchase that game, I can download it on my Xbox, I can download it on my Switch, and it's probably less likely to go away. Like if they came out today and said you can purchase Control to play it via cloud through all of the systems, that may be a little more, that may be like, okay, at least it's some, as the consumer, for me, it's like, okay, I'm safe. If they shut down the Switch server, at least I can go to another console. But that's for me. That's not going to necessarily be for everybody, right?
Right.
But at least I would know at that point, it's still with me. But I mean, again, we live in a time where
that's almost what we want Xbox to do, and we want Xbox to bring. Because if xCloud comes, I don't know exactly how it works. Because I think it's only going to be stuff that's on Game Pass, or is it eventually going to be stuff that maybe you have in your library that
I think it's all play? Game Pass for.
So it's only Game Pass stuff.
Maybe it'll expand years later. But so Becker says, when was the last time you went back and played digital games you got on your PSP or Wii? That's not even my concern. My concern is being able to play this on my Switch at some point.
While the Switch is still relevant. I think it'll shut down before the Switch.
I don't even know that this will be around before the end of the Switch's life. Like I would need someone to tell me if Resident Evil and Assassin's Creed are still around for Japan.
I believe they are. The articles I was just going through, they kept mentioning them, so I believe they're still there.
That's good. I mean, because if you can get, what has it been, a year on those already, or
probably right around that, or maybe longer.
Yeah. So I mean, maybe $40 for one game for a year is not bad. It just seems, I feel like a subscription service would be better than a single rental price like that.
When I think for us, unless a game really pulls us in, we're gonna play it for a while. Control is still in the back of my mind of like, if I get the urge to play it, I know I can throw the disc in my Xbox and play it, right? Whereas like at this point, if I spend $40 on this, I'm gonna play through it. I'm gonna get all the way through it and get my money's worth, and then probably not really care to go back to it, like. Yeah. So I feel like it's almost on a game to game. Like yes, it can work for single player experiences. That
I think it excels for single player experiences.
Yeah, and it also means, I spent $60 on Control, didn't buy the DLC, right? Now I could get everything for $40, play through it, and then be done with it. Like,
well, you could get everything for $100 because you already spent $60 on it.
No, but somebody else, right? Like somebody else that maybe has both but never purchased it on the Xbox. That they're getting the full experience for $40, so they are at least passing some of the savings on to the consumer of saying here, because this is a you know, you can only play it when you're connected to the internet, and you're technically not getting anything that is yours. Not that you technically are anyway, but
it's
at
also
least
bypassing the Nintendo tax.
it is.
Isn't it 40 on Xbox too for
It
the
is.
Ultimate Edition?
Yep.
So you're not really.
So so it's bypassing the Nintendo tax because they don't have to put it on a cart and or.
Well, it couldn't. Let's be real. It couldn't play on the Switch.
No.
I mean, without the cloud, it wouldn't run. It couldn't.
But if we look at what just happened with Paradise, you're selling a $50 game that you can get for $5 on Xbox, right? And so it
or Pikmin that you can get for $20 on the Wii U shop.
Hey, they've made a lot of improvements. They got couch co-op now. You've got the extra modes, extra spicy.
They already got my money. You don't have to sell me on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
So I think it is worth noting that there are some that this practice does seem like your cost of admission is $40 to get a AAA or close to AAA gaming experience on the Switch. I think what's difficult right now is we're still in this transition phase between, like, you know, physical carts and all digital, and some people are getting close to all digital, but at least when right now I can still play the games I have downloaded on my DS even though that online is gone. I can still go and play my Wii even though those servers are gone.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, there was a time where Netflix was in its infancy and we all didn't think it was going to happen. And
which Netflix? You mean the mail service when you like physically mail in a disc?
I remember that. I used to have 2 discs out at a time. But like, but yeah, I mean, Blockbuster.
Most kids probably don't remember that.
Blockbuster didn't adapt and they died off to that. I mean, the music industry has shifted pretty much all digital download. You don't see CDs in stores anymore.
Vinyls are back. What are you talking about? I've got a big collection of vinyl.
Vinyls are back, but that's You live in Portland too, so calm down.
You're right. Let me go put on my flannel.
Yeah, you need to grow
it's a warmer sound.
Out.
It's a warmer sound. You know? But I mean, video games are in that shift where last gen, at the beginning of the Xbox One generation, I still wanted to buy all my Xbox and PlayStation games physical. But then as soon as you realize that all you're buying is a $60 game key, it's still making you download the full game onto your Xbox. So it's not saving you space by having this cart or this disc. I have to get up off the couch and do it. Later on in the life cycle, I shifted more to digital.
The same here
on Xbox. PlayStation I have mainly because I got it later and I was able to get a lot of physical games for cheaper. So my PlayStation library is a little more physical, but it's smaller. But on Switch, I have a 400 gig memory card and I have 90% of my library. If it's able to be physical, it is physical. So it saves me space. But I mean, the digital future is coming. It's just a matter of how fast we all get on there. And if cloud if this can be viable and last for a while, because I think that's the biggest volatility. But we've all, I think, said it runs okay if you have the ideal circumstances for it. So it's not a question
of it ran very well for what it is, even handheld.
I mean, I have probably the slowest internet between all of us, and I pay for 500 gigs or 500 megs down. So I mean, so we're I mean, we all have ideal internet, but it's just a matter of if this service stays viable. And I think that's the biggest question mark there is the long-term viability of it all.
So I think the question is what price point makes it worth the plunge? If it was 20, would it be, because I mean 40 doesn't seem like that much for what you're getting as far as the amount of game that you're getting. But again, if you drag your feet with it, or because it's the first, you're an early adopter, and
well, let's do a different game, because this one's a bad example since we all three own it. I'm not buying this game again at any price. It's just not going to happen. So So let's say Assassin's Creed, whatever the heck they're on, is coming out, same day, Switch Cloud as it is every other platform, and uh, $60. Is that a viable option for you guys?
For me on Switch,
Yeah.
no, because I have PC, Xbox, PlayStation. I have other ways to do it. If I'm gonna stay at home, sitting down, which is how I do most of my Switch gaming anyway, I'm gonna buy it somewhere else. Because it's not the main reason to buy something if it is for the community right now, and that's the single player experience or something like that. I'm gonna do it somewhere else.
Josh, are you same boat, similar boat?
For Assassin's Creed, no, because I couldn't care. I don't care about that game at all.
See, that's a bad example.
And so, it's not though. But let's say Destiny came over. Destiny 2, the full experience came over to the Switch.
That'd be hard though, because we don't know if the multiplayer works with cloud. That's what I was trying to avoid.
And I understand.
Yeah.
But if the cost of Destiny 2 with everything, including the new expansion, was $60 on the Switch to play on the cloud, and that's where I knew the majority of the community was going to be playing that I play with, then yeah, I would pull the trigger on that, and I would gladly, because that's a game that isn't going anywhere and is going to continue to put out content, right? But I feel like even though I've already purchased Control once and could play it anywhere or play it on my Xbox, if it was $20, I feel like it's not that big of a risk, especially when you look at Fortnite and they sell skins for $20 right now that people have no problem buying, right? So it's like, it's so weird the way that gamers can look at things where some people are like $40, that's a ripoff, and other people are like, oh, I'm gonna buy Deadpool for Fortnite for $20.
It's that fear of missing out, man.
And you're not getting anything. You're still just getting you're still just getting a skin.
You're getting nothing. Literally nothing. You're
Becker
paying a lot
feels called out right now because I know he has the Deadpool skin. But I mean I'm not even calling anybody out. Like, if that's what you want to spend your money on, by all means. But I look at that $20 and I'm like, man, I could buy a
full game.
Exactly. I could buy Pikmin 3 on the Wii U, right?
Right. You're absolutely right. And so maybe a good example for this would be like a new Call of Duty comes out, and the only way we can get it on the Switch is through this. I'd probably jump on it because honestly, I don't play a Call of Duty past 6 months anyways. By then I'm so over the game. I've moved on. Like, so who cares, right? Like, I'm not going back. When this Call of Duty Cold War or whatever it is launches, I'm not going to go back and play whatever the heck the last one was, Modern Warfare. So maybe that's a good example. And yeah, I mean, I think I would, if it played well and we could jump on all with the community, like, I'm all for it, because that gives the people who only have a Switch an opportunity to play a game that otherwise the Switch just couldn't do, as long as it works well, which I think Control proved, at least for single player. Control proved it can do a good enough job that it doesn't hurt your experience at all. Like, the graphics were they were fine. Like, they looked good. It wasn't in performance mode, things were a little washed out, I feel like. Not unplayable by any means, but you could see like the shadows were a little
it's a
washed out.
pretty monochromatic game as well. It's a lot of black and reds. Yeah. I mean, in that game.
Yeah, for sure. And so yeah, I mean, I think I don't, it's not so much that the value I have the concern with. It's just kind of weird because if we're getting Hitman, we just got Control. If this is going to become kind of the norm, I would like to make sure it's on a hosted platform that we have some sort of assurance that's going to be around for a while, not just each developer picks their own cloud gaming service. I don't know if that's what's going on, but if Nintendo hosted it, I would feel at least more comfortable.
Or they partnered with Amazon or Google, and those server farms are viable, and there's a company that's behind it, paying for it, that's going to keep it up.
Well,
Definitely.
And to me, it seems like it should be the company that's hosting this game right now. You see their branding as the game starts. That when the game started off, it said whatever the name of the company was. I don't remember.
505 or something like that.
I think that's who made the game, isn't it?
They're the publisher.
Or
Remedy made the game.
But I'm talking about the cloud service itself. They showed their name at the beginning of the kind of like Xbox used to do with like Havoc, you know, how it would show the physics engine. And so, like, it seems to me, I would rather pay that company $5 or $10 a month to know my library is at least still my library.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and that's fine. Like, whoever it is, as long as it's a unified platform that all the Switch games are on, you know, it doesn't have to be xCloud, but if it were similar and I had, you know, faith that it was being ran well and you know, that would make me feel a lot more comfortable spending full retail price. You know, even if they made it $60 for all these games, that wouldn't bother me as long as I knew there was some assurances that my money wasn't going to be wasted.
Valve just needs to get into the game streaming industry and just buy up servers, and then you can have your Steam library played somewhere else or something like that.
Well, and I mean, again, I don't know how all this works, but how much easier is it for devs to get these games onto the Switch via this cloud versus
the GPU's running somewhere else? I mean, that's what it is.
But and my point here is that we've seen in the news recently just how devs are treated, how hard they're working, how like that if this kind of thing can also improve quality of life for them while still creating top-notch games for us, like that's a factor for me in it. Like that's okay. And I do want to go back. I don't know that I would necessarily pay that company $10 a month just to keep my games. Like it would need to be something like Game Pass or something like that, where it was like
Xbox has earned my $15 a month for my Xbox Live and the Game Pass or whatever.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
Well, yeah, and now with EA access too, you're getting like that's a massive library.
Even though PS Now's library is not as good as Game Pass's, their library is still good enough that you could justify paying for it monthly, right? Like PlayStation has it with PS Now.
I mean, they've done some weird things where God of War was only up there for like six months or something like that. But yes, like PlayStation is working their way. I think Xbox has pushed the industry forward enough, and I think they've set the bar pretty high. And so when we get something small and kind of just one-off like this, it makes us second guess like what truly could come to the Switch for kind of cloud gaming if Xbox and Nintendo could come to some kind of agreement, because in the long run the Switch is a tablet, and the phones have a stronger processor in them right now that they're running on. But if they can find a way to make more simplistic tablets like the Switch run xCloud, then that's ideally the service I would want to have. I mean, I'm biased a little bit because I'm already paying for it, but I think that's a good place to start. And Xbox and Nintendo could probably get a piece of the pie with that too. I don't know how that would work, but I think it would benefit both parties if they could do that.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I don't even play my Xbox all that much. I don't even really play the games on Game Pass all that much unless I fire up Halo or something, which I already owned. Yet it still is like it's such a great value in gaming. Like I don't have a problem keeping my Xbox Live alive with Game Pass, you know?
Yep. And there's some games that come to Switch that come to Game Pass, like that I hold off on buying on Switch just because I can play them on Game Pass somewhere and get to play it there.
Yeah. We've already been going for over an hour.
And we still haven't finished what it's only what Eric's playing.
Sorry.
No, this is like I hope you guys listening don't mind kind of the shift in this show turning into more of a conversation like this versus just the way it was so cookie cutter before. Like we played X amount of things, here's the news, here's a quick talking point, and then we're out. Like I am enjoying these kind of conversations so much more than just hitting the news real quick and chatting about that, because one, there are so many other shows that do that same thing, and then you know, and
you
maybe
can't get this level of insightful
nowhere else.
Anywhere else.
Nowhere else.
Nobody else can offer this.
Nobody can talk about cloud gaming like we can for 1 hour. You know, nobody. But Crawler, what were you playing?
Like you, I've been playing a little bit more of Minecraft Dungeons.
Yeah.
Mainly because I find that a little bit more engaging than playing Minecraft, and my kids have been, ever since Steve has come out, and both William and Cece, Cece's my 4-year-old, she's been asking to see Minecraft stuff too, and I showed them Dungeons, and that was enough to placate them with Minecraft, getting their Minecraft fix, and I'm enjoying it a little bit more than wandering around in survival mode on PC playing Minecraft. So yeah, I've been playing Dungeons, and I'm up I think I'm like power level like 38 or something like that, and level like 32. I did some of the spooky events or whatever they had launch. Was that yesterday those started? I don't even know.
26th.
Okay.
26th through the 3rd, I believe is what it is. Okay. That's the video
I did 2 of the challenge playthroughs, and it's pretty much just a level again. There's just different modifiers on some of the enemies, which makes it fun and interesting. But then there's also a special either armor set or weapon. I think I got a crossbow or a bow and arrow, I'm not sure which, and then like an armor set as well. So there's fun stuff to grind for, and I know that Josh has been playing, so he and I need to team up and go through and play a little bit more. But yeah, that's been kind of what I'm doing. I'm almost done with like a kind of basic playthrough. I'm on the last level, and I know that's what I need to do to unlock the DLC islands, to play a little bit more of that. And then once you unlock the game, you kind of just start grinding for that gear, kind of Diablo style, and you just crank up the difficulty. So
right.
I really liked Minecraft Dungeons. I didn't play a lot of it, but I got it. We could jump in sometime, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was way better than I was expecting.
I played it handheld yesterday. I was actually playing. I think I was actually playing it when we got into a little fender bender.
I was noticing some. I was noticing some frame dips.
Yeah.
Even docked. How are the frame dips on handheld?
It's a little rough. And here's the thing: if you're not online at the end of a mission, it's like you need to connect right now, because we can't register that you're.
Oh yeah, it's like a fully online game. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, well, that's interesting. As we're talking about cloud gaming, we can't. I had to fire up my hotspot on my phone in order to keep going. Without it, well, actually, I can't fire it up on my phone right now because there's a glitch with Apple's 14 iOS 14 that it just made my hotspot disappear. Actually, on my phone, my daughter's like iPhone 7 still had it, so she was able to turn it on for me. But I was like, well, this is neat, but yeah, I mean, I've been really enjoying that game. Going back, it's always been in the back of my mind, like that was actually a really fun experience. And I think I hit level 22, but I'm at like a power level of 33 now, so I can actually do the spooky stuff because they recommend a level of 33. So so I wanted to get in and check that out for that. If the armor is what they show in the preview, that's like all red with like some horns and stuff, I'm like, I want that armor set. Like that is cool.
I found like halfway through playing, like over this past week, I found I was handicapping myself because I liked the armor and the stuff I had, and I wasn't deleting and ranking up my power level.
Oh, yeah.
So even though my actual player level was going up, so I was handicapping myself by not getting more powerful drops. And so that's why my power level and my actual level are like right on sync with each other, when they should be higher. But yeah, it's fun. It's a fun grind, and it's fun finding different builds and finding stuff that works well. I like having that snowball to immobilize enemies, and if you get some good elemental effects, like I think I have a poison and fire staff or something like that right now, so you can kind of wipe through those mobs pretty well.
Yeah, I can. Apparently, the armor I got last night after I finished up, I can roll and bees will come out now. So I'm like, well, that's that's cool. So
sounds good.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that's gonna do it. We're at an hour 10 minutes. So let's.
Oh yeah, there was a direct today.
Yeah, there was a direct. We'll talk about it next week. All right. Eric, where can people find you?
You will find me on Twitter at hate0 with an X. You'll also find me on Discord. Come hang out with us. There's a lot of personalities, a lot of different people, lots of good people there. So one of the more positive places I think left on the internet when you get that big of a group of people. Very surprising every time.
That's for sure. Crawler, where can we find you?
Just like Hate, hanging out on the Discord, so n64josh.com/discord. Also, I did promise it last week, I didn't get around to it, but the stream will be up. Maybe I'll host Mario Kart on Fridays since Josh is going to be out, but there's also going to be Pikmin to play, I guess, as well. So maybe we'll do a little bit of both. And so yeah, you guys can find me on Twitch at Nightcrawler724, Nightcrawlers without the E.
There you go. Guys, you can find me everywhere at N64Josh, twitch.tv/N64Josh, where we do this show live. Also been streaming a little more often, doing Smash, doing Mario Kart. Friday morning, we will be doing Pikmin. If you guys want to come check that out, it'll be a good time. Again, I want to get some Pokemon streams going where I play with you guys. We do some of these new adventure raids, I think is what they're called. And I want to learn how to battle in that game so we can get the most out of it. I'm doing a ton of stuff on TikTok. If you are hearing this for the first time because of TikTok, welcome. We're glad to have you. We are glad to have you. Nady Nay in the chat says Discord is even more friendly than some family members on the internet.
Definitely.
So there you go. But yeah, guys, we're slowly making our way to episode 300. I feel like the show is evolving somewhat. Like we're again, the conversation focus. I hope you guys are cool with. I may still put out just a news show real quick that touches on news. So we may start doing two episodes again, just so that the news is going out. But I don't know. I just like this time getting together and just chatting about this stuff and kind of picking it apart and the different perspectives and and I feel like it helps. I hope it helps you guys that are listening be able to engage more with us, like jumping into the Discord and being like, no, you guys are crazy. $40 for this game is amazing. I don't care if I don't own it. Like, bring it. Bring it. We want to hear your thoughts and your opinions on this stuff because. We
love hearing other people be wrong.
We yeah, and so and we just need the opportunity to talk more about Super Mario Bros. So anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye now.